You're not alone. Together we rise. Together we rise. You're not alone. Never alone. You're not alone. Together we rise. Together we rise. You're not alone. Never alone together.
This is the Never Alone Together podcast with Ian Hendry and Gary Everett, bringing special guests on each week to share their stories of mental health struggles and to give hope to many who are going through dark times.
Hi guys, here to chat about men's mental health is our special guest Paul Rees, accompanied by Richard Dickie Thomas.
Well, thank you, Paul, for coming along today.
No problem.
To the Never Alone Together podcast. It's a privilege to have you, to be honest, because we've heard so much about you from Richard last time.
What you're doing to help people with mental health.
Great stuff, boys.
We'd like to know, the story really behind everything, what experiences you have with the mental health.
Yeah, I mean, it was about 30, I think it was, when I first sort of started. And the thing, I got to track back as well, because I never had any mental health problems as a child growing up. So I never had any. I had loving family, close-knit family. Yeah. So there was never any trauma. There's no reason behind anything. And then I was about 30, just started feeling, first of all, just a bit low. And that's how it started. What I have got as well, and what starts the depression, is OCD, this obsessional compulsive disorder. So I get a thought. It's not tight. Everyone thinks OCD is tidiness and putting things in order, and that's a form of it. But mine is an obsessional thought, and some of the thoughts can be quite taboo and shit.
Yeah.
Right. So it started off when I had a thought. I remember I'd been drinking quite heavily because I was feeling a bit low, and I was in the living room with my missus, and there was a plate there, and I had this sort of urge. I feel like throwing a knife. So that thought then snowballed. And it got so far that I couldn't eat with a knife and fork.
Yeah.
I couldn't even open the cutlery drawer because I'm thinking, if I got a knife in my hand, am I going to do something?
Yeah.
And also, you turn yourself into some crazy, mad, mass murderer thing.
Yeah.
So what comes from that then is because you're feeling all low and down about your thoughts, depression kicks in. And I didn't talk about it, did I?
How long did it build down for now?
So say I was about 30, this thought was in my head for about a year or so.
The same thought.
Non-stop.
The thought will expand, and I'm depressed about it, and I was too embarrassed because it's stigma, what are people going to think of me for thinking this, and then obviously what was my coping mechanism was drinking more. And
did you turn to that straight away, or just?
I'd always been, if I'm going to be honest with you, I'd loved my drink, and other stuff all through since teenage years, and
sorry to chip in, but just that obviously because me and Paul have been obviously friends for a long time.
Yeah.
When he was mentioning his drinking, which obviously at that point I didn't know about the depression side of it, and he was mentioning but talking about alcohol, drinking 2 bottles, 3 bottles of wine a night as a normal was. And I'm thinking, I used to like to drink, as I told you, and I thought that was my first alarm bells of. I was worried, thinking, hang on, is and I thought it was maybe marriage, you just don't know, work problems.
Don't know,
But obviously, I know, to be honest, because I never would have, in my wildest dreams, thought it was mental health.
Because this is a thing, I've always said this, and I think society, especially as a man, builds us to be strong, doesn't it? You've got to be
Expectation.
Absolutely. The one who's got to be strong, who's got to be brave. Men don't cry, that sort of thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
We've got to keep our emotions, and that's not no one's fault, but that's the way I was brought up.
Yes, yeah.
And I think a lot of us have been brought up.
Yeah.
So when I had this random thought that I couldn't get out of my head, which I now know after years going on of this is what it is, it was scary. The depression, I just couldn't get a thought out of my head. And like Richard was saying, drinking more, because it was the only time I wasn't thinking horrible stuff when I was drunk.
It's taken out of your mind.
Drink as a escape, is it?
I think a lot of the time, I think drinking is escape from reality.
Yeah,
Using drugs is escape from reality. You know?
Yeah.
Did you see a big difference in all of it?
Obviously, I knew he liked to drink because I obviously been there with him when he was doing the drinking. It got quite a lot. It was just the fact that it was like turned from like a weekend special occasion thing to an everyday. Yeah. And I was like, he was like ringing me and stuff. He was half cut and so you probably can't remember some of the conversation. And then obviously other things started happening. Like it was like normal everyday things for he used to enjoy, like exercising. Like he went out on a bike one day and he's basically found a pub somewhere and got paralytic, and his wife was, you know, really worried about him, and she was like, and that's when I thought, hang on, it's something not right.
I go missing, see.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what
I say one beer before, so if you're on the weekend and a drink, it's different.
Yeah.
But you start disappearing.
But it was like going out on a bike ride.
On a bike ride, and then you're not coming home for like
12 hours or whatever.
12 hours, it would sometimes longer. I'd go out for a pint, and I'd be like, come home the next day and stuff like that.
I've done exactly the same thing, not knowing this now, but that hits home with me because it's a very similar thing I went through. Yeah, I'd always try and like stay strong for other people.
Yeah.
But in my head,
you're
I was failing big time.
It's like I call it like it's like a snowball effect, right? With OCD and depression, like it's like you have a thought, right, and the thought lands on top of the mountain as a snowflake, and and all of a sudden it builds, right? And it builds and it builds and it builds. Like,
you can't stop thinking of that one thing.
And then all of a sudden it goes into that massive, huge snowball and it's crashing and it's wrecking through a town at the bottom. And it keeps rolling around as well. It just doesn't stop. Yeah, and it's just went on for, say, a year or so, maybe a bit longer actually. And then it got to the point where like my missus was realising that not so much about the drinking, just about how depressed I was.
Yeah. You could tell any mannerisms and that the way.
Yeah, it's just that you just didn't see. I didn't seem to be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
totally. Like my head was. And that's what I think depression is. It's like, it's funny. It's like you feel as if you're literally in your own little bubble, and the world's going on around you, but you actually don't pay any attention to it.
Not taking anything in.
No, and it just gets darker, and it's like. Eventually, I did speak to the wife. I said, "Look, I'm really struggling here now." Told her, but snippets again because I was still embarrassed.
Yes,
You know what I mean? I was like,
And you took a step there, I see. That was the first step.
So it was like, because I wanted to kill myself, and that's the bottom line to it.
Yeah.
You know, and I never told her that at this point, but I did. And I would seriously thought, I'm never, ever going to get out of this. And I just wanted, and I was thinking, how am I going to kill myself? How am I going to do it? And stuff like that. You know, I'd be standing in a train and thinking, it would just be so easy to fucking walk in front of this. And I never did attempt, but it was so strong, I thought. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then she said, we need to go to the doctors. But I was like, then again, stigma, I'll be fine. I'm all right. It's that man thing, and I can cope with this. I can do it. And then it just went on, and it got worse again. And then me and my old man were on the mountain, and I just remember breaking down to him. I just like, Dad. And I just remember crying like a baby with my old man on the mountain saying, Dad, I just want to end it. Like, and he'd noticed that obviously that things weren't right because we got a good relationship. But still, it's not a relationship. How can I put it? That, you don't know, I mean, we talk about football.
It's not a huggy sort of.
No, it's not.
It's like a mate's sort of.
Yeah, it's a great mate's relationship. So. And I just remember and I cried and I broke down with him. And he said, you've got to go to the doctors.
But probably the best thing you did then
was
actually break down, so it opened it up, told someone close to you who would have supported you through it.
Yeah.
And that was the step to getting you better.
A little step to the doctors.
Yeah.
First doctor I went to said I was an alcoholic. I was like, right, no, I'm not. Because there's another thing, it's a stigma of alcoholism as well. Everyone thinks an alcoholic wakes up in the morning and puts Baileys on his cornflakes.
Yeah.
The definition of alcoholic, which I now know, is once you start drinking, you have never, ever got a stop button. I've never been able to walk away from a pint or
Have two or
whatever.
three.
You know, you could be someone goes to a pub every night and has 6 pints or 8 pints.
I know
he
they're having that and going.
And he comes home and he has a curry on the way home, and he comes back and talks to his missus and everything's fine. Yeah, he drinks too much, but he doesn't go on a bit where he's out of control.
Yeah.
It's the control thing.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, no, I'm not alcoholic, because I didn't understand at the time. Do you know what I mean? So then I went to another doctor, and he basically said, yeah, you know, he actually said he's got OCD, because I told him about the thoughts and stuff. Went to a couple of counsellors, offered me medication. Didn't want to take the medication because yet again, I'm not taking antidepressants. It's a male ego thing again. It's society, unfortunately.
Yeah, do you think that a lot of people shy away from taking them?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I think some people are worried about being addicted to them as well, isn't it? You know,
and the thing is, you can't be addicted to them. There's certain types you can.
Yeah.
I now know, you know, and at that stage I didn't take them. This is what I always say now. If I've got diabetes, I've got to take insulin every day.
Oh, right there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've got to take insulin.
Yeah.
If I've got a heart problem or high blood pressure, I've got to take a tablet every day. Do you know what I mean? If I got migraines, I have to take migraine. So my brain is set up, and I don't know why, but it's set up that I've got OCD, and it's set up that I'm prone to depression. So what's the biggie about me taking a tablet to put a bit of serotonin in my brain?
Yeah.
I still take tablets a day. I've taken them since I'm 30, whatever, 3 or 34 from that first tab, but I shied away from it because I was wrapped up in that, I'm not going to take this. And then fair play, and it just got worse again, boys. It got worse again. I carried on drinking. It was just like, I just wasn't getting better. And then I went back to the same doctor, and I have to say, he was good. People have got things about GPs, and you know, but this guy was.
He helped you a lot.
He was out because he said, because he played a lot of sport, and he said to me, "We broke your leg, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "How did you walk then when you broke your leg?" Because you had a plastering leg. He said, crutches, isn't it? He said, "Well, there we are." He said, "Your brain is exactly, it's a muscle, it's like a bone that's broken, exactly the same." He was like, "Take these tablets, try them."
That's exactly what I'm in the position now, with taking tablets for it.
You have to try a few different ones
to
get the right
Takes a while
balance.
to get.
It does. I found the first few weeks, believe it or not, when I first took them, I was worse. But he told me that, to be fair, because it's getting the levels right. Like I take paroxetine now. I've been on paroxetine for I've had to up the dose for the years. Like my mental health didn't just stop then. You know, I had to do counselling and a lot of mindfulness and meditation and all that. And then so this is 34, and then my drinking was still out of control, if I'm going to be honest. You were a lot better. And I was trying to stop drinking as much, but it always
go back.
So in the end, I was about just over 40, and I've gone up to Manchester on a weekend, and I was just at a massive binge again. And it was time, I was like, I can't do it. I can't live without drink, and I can't live with it. And that's when I walked into Churchill and went to Alcoholics Anonymous, and I haven't picked a drink up since 11th of December.
Amazing.
That's brilliant.
2017.
That is brilliant.
And I haven't taken a drug since 11th of December 2017.
Oh, well done, man. That's amazing.
So, and I work and try and live at 12 steps, which is, I don't know if anyone's heard of it. And that's where then I try and do a little bit for mental health now. And then I realise, well, if I can stop drinking because of being a group, that's what it was, Alcoholics Anonymous for me, first of all, is a group of people talking about why they drink, and they drink the same as me, and they think about drinking the same as me, how they think about using the same as me, and when they're not drinking, they're thinking about it constantly. When can I get it? How am I going to get it? And I thought, well, if it works with alcohol, which it did for me, I was about 6-7 months sober. I thought, let's try with mental health, and then that's when I came out then, because no one knew about this. This was just my own man, my missus, and I thought, let's start talking about it, because if this works with alcohol, it's going to work with mental health. And we got a walk and talk group in Swansea now, which I know some of you heard of, and we meet once a month, and so it's been going for 3 years, and Tell us more about that, and where it's set up and that, so any listeners then can get on board. So walk and talk Swansea. How long are we going for now, mate?
Beginning of 2019 it started.
It was around that, because I'd been about a year sober. I must have been about that, and I thought, hang on, this surely this could work with mental health, and let's try and break a stigma, because you know, I'd been like almost 10 years without speaking about it to my mates, if you know what I mean, and people and boys, and all of a sudden I was like, I need to try and like get it out there that as men, as I said earlier, we need to like break this massive stigma, you know, and like, men do cry, man, you know, of course we do, you know,
It's admitting it, isn't it?
and just trying to admit it and be
Real, like.
the first walk, I put it on Facebook. So I just literally went on Facebook and said a little video or a little sort of like spiel about I've had mental health problems over so many years, and I feel that I don't want anyone to be in a position where I am. I felt alone as a man, and I feel that men need to get together only. And we met. Where did we meet the first one?
On Swansea Bay, I think.
Swansea Bay.
How many turned up then for the first?
First one, there must have been about 6 and people had seen it, you know, like
because also I brought Paul into like speaking the place I work, and he spoke in front of like 200 odd people about mental health, which also made an impact on the men there and women as well listening. And then obviously that then when you put it on social media, then people then go, hang on, I remember this bloke because he spoke in these events and stuff like that. And that's how things spread, you know, from both men and women, passing it on, like passing it on to
word of mouth, really.
Word of mouth is a thing, and people turned up, and I'm trying to say, look, to everyone, look, you don't have to share. If you want to share anything about your mental health, you can.
Just talk. Like.
What I found is that when I'm sitting over a table, sometimes I know we're doing that now, but I found it difficult to sometimes open up, right? Because it goes back to that, like, I don't know, school, job interview mentality sort of thing, where I'm like, oh, no, if I've got to talk here. So I thought, I'm not going to do it over a desk or a table. Just do it when we walk in. And it's mad, because when you walk in, right, it's weird. You're not looking at someone straight in the eye. It's sort of all of a sudden you build up this like little bit of a relax walking next to each other.
She's just chilled out then.
And people just open up, and within about 10 minutes, like, there's this guy telling me, and I won't go into it because everything's confidential.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But he's telling me like how his life has been and what happened with him with a suicide attempt, and you know, and it was
similarities.
And he was
that's spread.
It's the first time I've told anyone, he said.
Once one does it, then and another one opens up, then, don't they?
Because we have people and they don't open up, and they just talk about every day, and they just go and it's like they forget the issues they got outside, and for that 2 hours on the walk, they just like
absolutely.
And it's like, and one bloke said, he said to be honest, before this group, he said I felt really lonely.
It's company for him.
He said you got a WhatsApp group. He said, I feel confident I can put a message in there and we do it, and we know, and talk it to each other. And he said it's like it feels he got support then from you know, and he said it's really you get support from strangers. And it's like but some people, these strangers, have turned into good friends now because the fact that it's so we can, because they're like-minded people, but also you can have an hour, 2 hours with them where they can just zone out. And it's like forget the world in regards to what it's just that enjoyment.
They can look forward to that as well.
And they look forward
to it and going, I meet those people again, and get out and have a chat.
Exactly.
Once a month, like, you know, it's like something like, oh, well, and it's safe, see? And it's a safe environment, right? Whereas everyone's been there or in a similar situation. So 9 times out of 10, and this is the madness of it, like the last few walks, probably no one's ever talking how they're feeling, as in their depression or whatever. But we're having a laugh, and like normal boys having a walk.
You feel comfortable around each other. That's what it's like.
Exactly.
It feels like I'm sitting with my brothers. Like that's what it feels. It takes me back to when I was young. Really, like we always used to have our family close knit. And the comfort of having those people around you.
But that's what it needs to be more of, isn't it? As you say,
for me, it was like when people started to pass away in my family. I kind of started to lose my way of like the comfort of having those people around you. And you miss them. You know, I saw my own auntie pass away in front of me, like, and I think that massively affected my mental health early on.
Yeah, of course.
And then from there, I bottled it up, like I say, and you know, it's very similar to you, Paul. And you know, you
embarrassed to show your emotions, sort of thing.
You are, unfortunately.
It's like it's the man thing, like not to.
You want to speak to someone, but you don't know who the best person is.
And only times you look, you think, I'll give him a ring now, and you don't phone him, like, you know, to put the phone down.
I think it stems down, like you were saying, to that, like, because you feel embarrassed. It's weird.
Yeah,
And I don't feel embarrassed today. And like, what's the bravest thing like I've ever done? And you think like, oh, no, is it walking in a ring and boxing? No. Do you know what I mean? Is it doing something like, you know, whatever, you know?
Yeah.
The bravest thing for me today is surrendering. And I surrender. I got to a stage now where I've surrendered to my illness. So I accept. Acceptance comes first, I think. Yeah. So I accept I will always have mental health, and I will always have OCD, and I will always have depression, and I will always be an alcoholic. I'm not cured, but I do it on a daily reprieve. I don't have to pick a drink up, right? Yeah. By accepting, I now surrender to it, and weirdly, this mad paradox is by surrendering, I now feel a lot better.
Yeah.
That's, you know, surrender's a funny word. Look at surrender and like dictionary, we have an image of surrender. It's like, I'm giving up.
No.
It's like surrendering can be the bravest, strongest thing you ever do.
And not everyone's able to do it.
But that's taken a period of time.
Yes, yeah.
You know,
a lot I learned when I was trying to pluck myself out of the depression, to be real. Like a lot of people I find these days, like Richard said on the last podcast, they're like social media side of things. People aren't real, are they?
No.
They kind of like portraying this lifestyle of, I've got this, I've got that, I've got everything.
Look how good, look how perfect my life is.
Yeah. It is.
And to me, it's more braver to actually show your scars, like
absolutely, man.
Being real.
So what you went through.
That's what I've learned is I'm not scared to be real anymore. And like, if I feel down, I have to just tell somebody that.
Best way.
Yeah.
It is. It's the best way.
And it's all about opening up and just being honest and talking is just
I just say it's the hardest thing is to actually talk at the beginning. Once it does, it's a relief, isn't it? Flow of it. It's crazy how what do you get after it? Like just opening up. And sometimes you just think it's the worst thing in the world to be able to, you know, even pick up a phone. They got in my works, they got a feeling first class, and they turn on if you've been suffering that, they're struggling, going off with stress. They'll ring this number. And if someone's stressed, the last thing they can do is pick a phone up and speak to someone, a stranger on the phone. Like I think it's a bit easier face to face than just picking a phone up. Like, and they expect if you say no, then they're like this, right then. Didn't do it like as if you haven't, you know, well, you're not trying to help yourself, sort of thing, you know.
It's a big step to help yourself.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And just give someone a number, and you've got to, you know, try and support them through work as well. I think.
I think the key as well is finding a mate. Like you got Richard, I got Gary, we got each other here.
Yeah.
And if that person can see that you're struggling, you know it's hard, but if they can just see a inkling, and they realise there's something changed in you. That's the start of like.
Yeah. And that's what's happening in this group where because you start building relationships up.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you feel like you're a burden on one person. I know I felt like that.
Yeah.
And then, but it's like I know now there's like 4, 5, 6 people I can say right. I can speak to this person now about it. But then I know, but I've also learned the people I can't talk about it. But some people, like as I told you last time, it was like. I've got family members who don't believe in mental health. They just told me to get on with it, man. I've been told that many
times. Unless they go through themselves, they don't believe in anything, you know.
No, I did believe in mental health, but you know, before I had my episode, I was very much the sort of person myself.
Yeah.
You know, in my 20s, thinking, I can get over stuff like this. That's all right. So until you actually go through it,
you don't realise it.
You don't realise and you don't know.
Yeah.
You don't.
No. And once you're in there, it's hard to get out of it, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It is.
Say with the right support, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to have people around you because trying to do it on your own, it's the hardest thing you'll ever try and do.
What do you think is the key to getting out of it, Paul? What helped you the most?
Tips and that?
Talking without a doubt, admitting it to another human being, like.
Yeah.
You know,
acceptance.
Yeah, you know, the first thing for me to say to my wife after about a year or so of struggling was the first little step. So I knew, and she was really understanding, to be fair. You know, then my dad, then going to the doctor. You know what I mean? I would always say to anyone, because I'm no medical expert at all. I can only say about what my you know, how I have my episodes and how I help to get them, but I think you've got to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
So talking, accepting, continually talking, And I found I've had some really good counsellors and I've had some rubbish counsellors. The one I got now, because I had an episode about 2 years ago, just before COVID, didn't I? Really bad again.
Yeah, it was around there. It was like their Christmas time, wasn't it? Christmas time, really
November to the start of the first lockdown.
Do you think, like, obviously, because Paul lost his dog, and do you think that?
No, I don't know. I think it was one of these crazy thoughts again.
Sneaked in,
and it was the first time because I was sober, I was like, I didn't know how to deal with it, because every time I dealt with it before, I was drinking, and all of a sudden now I had no drinking didn't come into it. And that's brilliant what Alcoholic Anonymous done to me. Drinking and using didn't come into it, but I was like, I didn't know how to live again. I just think I overdone it, boys. I gotta be honest with you. I think first year, 2 years of sobriety, I was trying to save the world, like. I was. So, I'm going to meetings, I'm helping other alcoholics, I'm taking meetings in Alcoholics Anonymous, I'm doing talks at the DVLA, right? I'm doing talks in the land registry, right? And I also, my job at the time was personal training. I don't do that now because COVID came to that, and that's fine because I've accepted that, and I'm working in a different thing now, which I'll talk to you later. And I was like, I just think I didn't rest, and I didn't look after myself.
Yeah.
I think because I was so tired, I had this mad thought again, and this was like, it's madness, boys, Yeah. I know it's madness today, but it was like I thought everyone, when I was walking down the street, I can laugh a bit now, but everyone was flicking me. Right?
It's just in red.
I'm not lying now, but I've not said this to anyone till today that I've had exactly the same thoughts like that you've had.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that. That anyone else was like that.
They're horrible.
I can only think that for me, I bottled stuff up for so long. Anger built in me.
Yeah.
And I'm one of the quietest people around people, but I've had this anxiety where I'm scared of saying the wrong thing to people.
Yeah.
Because I think like all my anger has built up over the years.
Yeah.
But I get paranoid then that people don't like me.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. And, and it's only today now I've noticed there's someone else that...
all negative thinking.
It's the same.
It's mad. I don't even know how it started. Like, it's mad again. And this thought comes in my head. The thing is, see, what I know now, we have millions of thoughts a day, right? And sometimes you can think that and you want to attach yourself to one. But the initial thought of, I'm sure someone's flicking me, man. Right? Went to, they are.
They are doing that.
Then I went to, I can't turn my back to anyone, right? Yeah. I was like, because I was taking classes, PT classes. I'm thinking then, everyone then, when I'm turning my back in the class, like, they're all like this.
When you're doing the talks, you were having it as well, like, having the feelings.
The first couple of talks, I didn't. And then I remember doing a talk in November in the land registry, and I was in this, and I was like,
anxiety kicking in.
And I didn't. And the thing is, I was there again, see, because I thought it was so stupid, I didn't want to talk about it. And then what came from that was depression. So I didn't want to talk about it. And then depression came from that then. And then, thank God, I didn't pick a drink up. And I found this counsellor for the first time who explained what OCD is and how to deal with it. Shall I tell you what she said? It's amazing. Like, and I get it.
It can help anyone out there.
So when I have a thought, right, about anything, like, let's go back to the knife one, right? So I've had that thought that I want to throw a knife, right? So the more I fight against the thought, weirdly, I'm not going to throw it. Like, what are you thinking that for? And then you go negative against yourself. That thought comes back stronger. And this stems back from there's three parts of our brain, right? And we've got the primeval part, we've got our drive part that makes us want to do stuff, and you've got the part where we enjoy stuff, right? So the primeval part is in every single human being, and that hasn't changed, that part of the brain, from primeval times. So when man first was like, I don't know, cavemen, whatever, right? They would live in this part of the brain. So they would have a thought that a saber-toothed tiger is going to kill them. Well, the likelihood is it was. So that part of his brain overruled the rest of it. So he needed that part to work.
Yeah.
Now I get a thought about the knife and fork. and I'm going to throw it. So believe it or not, this part of the brain is trying to help you, it's trying to protect you. So I get the part of the thought, I'm gonna stick a knife in someone, so whatever, throw it. I know it's never going to happen. Yeah. I know, because I couldn't even eat my fingers, like. So it's not, if you were going to do it, you wouldn't worry about it.
No, exactly.
So I go negative against that thought. Why am I thinking this? I shouldn't be thinking that, right? And because that part of the brain is actually primeval and is trying to help you, it gives you worse images.
Yeah.
So the more you fight against the thought, the worse it comes, the more you down about it. So I didn't know any of this, so I'm fighting against these thoughts and they're coming worse and everything's worse. And then what happens then, because this thought, my brain then, my drive bit goes out the window, so I don't want to do anything, so I'm getting depressed. So this part of the brain is only working. Then my enjoyment part of the brain shuts down, and I'm just then in a cycle of that primeval brain. So I'm on high alert.
Yeah.
You got to the stage, I was like a pen like that, and I'd be like, I can't pick that pen up, this looks sharp. Yeah. That's what, you know what I mean?
I totally get that.
Yeah.
Because I've had situations where, like, I'm in a room with people.
Yeah.
And then I kind of think, if I leave this room now, they're going to start talking about me.
That's your primeval part.
And then I leave the room, and I'm like, they're talking about me.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
it's like I get that. It's really like a paranoia. It's like if someone's like stops talking, and it's like, oh, they must be talking about me.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Then they go nothing. They're like,
I get really like. Yeah. I think when people are whispering and stuff like that, it's like, oh, they must be talking about me and stuff. Yeah. And I just worry then. Why do they dislike me so much? Like, you know,
and they make a story up.
Exactly. I made it up in my mind, or they've said this about me. They've said all these things about me. Like,
there's thoughts going off on them. So what she told me. So I have a thought. Don't fight against it. Come on, pull yourself together. Why are you thinking that? You're obviously not that person, because that thought comes back more.
Yeah.
Right. So you've got to call this a primeval part of your brain. So have it as a monkey or a chimp or something, right? So I've got this little character in my head now, and it's Keith from The Prodigy. Yeah. And he's a monkey, and he's got a Mohican. Right? So when I have a thought... By the way, I took a lot of drugs, mate.
Sounds like a good night, though, isn't it?
So I got this monkey there, and when he starts thinking mad things, I don't say to the monkey, what are you doing now? What's the matter with you? If I'm angry with him, he comes back, he's running around my brain, he's more weekends up, he's giving me more thoughts. So I say, Keith, it's all right, son. Sit down by there now. He's in a little armchair, right? Sit down by there now. I don't need to think about that. I don't need to. And I start, I got to the stage where I'm visualising, I'm smooth. And he calms down.
Yeah.
Good boy, Keith.
He's all right, Keith is. And he calms down. And now I've got to a stage now where she said you can tell an OCD thought from a normal thought. So my normal thought is, at the moment, I'm going to have a drink of this. If I'm thinking to myself, I'm going to throw this cup over Dickie, I'm never going to do it. I know it's an OCD thought. So I go, actually, that's an OCD thought.
Yeah. Let it pass.
We can separate.
So separate from a normal thought to an OCD thought. Yeah. And by a lot of practice doing it, it didn't just happen overnight. This was just like
training your mind,
retraining it. Because I still have mad thoughts. You know, I still to this day.
Everybody does.
Yeah,
we all do.
But people just don't say.
No, they don't say. And if you're not OCD, you don't latch on to them, and they don't go bonkers. I still today, I open a cutlery drawer, I can open it and go.
Close it.
You know. So
I think it's like the people who have like through life, they get so many bad things happen to them, and like a lot of people, that they do lose themselves in the end.
Yeah,
and it's
trauma after trauma.
It's trauma after trauma. Yeah. And you do get to that stage where, I always remember looking in the mirror at myself in lockdown, thinking, who am I?
Yeah.
I didn't recognise myself anymore. Because I was...
You hate yourself, didn't you? As well. It's weird, isn't it?
I was kind of like numb. That's what it felt to me.
Yeah.
I didn't feel anything.
That's what I class depression, not a non-feeling. It's so dark, man. You just don't feel.
No.
You're not sad. That's a weird thing. You're not sad. You're not happy. You're obviously not happy, but you just don't feel. You're not even sad.
Yeah.
And people don't. You say, "Oh, I'm depressed. You must be seeing, you're sad." No, I'm not sad. I don't know.
It's numb. It's like a numbness.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I used to look in the mirror and go, "What's happening to me?"
Yeah.
I didn't even know what was happening to me.
Yeah.
But I knew something was happening to me.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't know who I am no more. I don't know who I am.
No, I'm with you on that.
And I think once you lose yourself, to get out of that situation there now, you know, it's a massive hurdle, isn't it? You've got to be strong, willing to, like you said earlier, open up.
And wanting to get better as well, I think.
I think so. I think, talking, wanting, a mixture for me of medication and mindfulness and talking. Yeah. And it's everything. Because tablets ain't just going to work. They're not going to work. They ain't a miracle cure. But they take the edge off.
That's what I said to you. You take the edge off. Stop you thinking so much, isn't it?
People got this perception of like I talked about medication that I don't take any, and I try to do different things, but people think it's like going to make you like, oh no, it's the happy pill. No, it's just about making you feel normal.
It kind of like for me, it switches off my thought system of the bad things. And if I get to the point of like one day I go back to when I was in a dark place where every little thing was a problem. Which became a massive problem.
Of course.
But I don't seem to get that now. No. Because it kind of switches that thinking off.
Definitely. He was worrying about things in the future, wasn't it? Like something a month or with work and everything. I don't have to worry about it yet. But
no, I think of now. Now we sit in here.
Yeah, that's it.
We're all just calm. Talking nicely. Everybody's helping each other. Don't think about later on because
I don't know what's going to happen.
Even you.
Tomorrow's not a given, is it?
No, it isn't.
It's not. It's like, and you told me that as well, didn't you? Because I talked to you when you said that you said you concentrate on
this moment. It's the only thing that exists weirdly is now. Because my sponsor, we're getting sober and stuff, and he said, "You got 1 foot in tomorrow." And you got 1 foot in yesterday.
You're missing all the things
you're
around
missing that moment. You're missing what's going on.
Because you're worrying about tomorrow.
And we can all get into it, right? Yes. It's a natural thing to worry sometimes, and that we got to. That's human nature. But it's when it goes out of control and it gets into anxiety, because worrying falls into anxiety. A lot of depression is looking back sometimes. Why am I feeling like this? I wish I was feeling the way I was 10 years ago.
You miss your mates and stuff, and they'll have gone away. And you know, we used to like I started. We used to have big gang of us.
Back 10, 15 years,
hang around together. When everybody goes their own way, we kind of like
you're thinking what's happening, like massive change. I think.
And obviously, like people pass away from your family.
So we grew up nursery together. But then it was one of those. You'd see him every now and again in the street. We always was happening. But he won till last year now with this. I knocked the door to see him, and now we've come back now.
That's brilliant.
Of course, and we see each other every week now. We back as I look when we were kids. It's mental, isn't it?
So brought us
brought us together again.
Back again, isn't it?
That's brilliant.
It is brilliant.
You know,
and that's why through life sometimes like you can have friends, the new acquaintances, and what have you. But if I'm going to be honest with you, and I've learned this through the years from having depression and having, struggle with alcoholism, and I can count on one hand the people I can actually turn around to and talk to. If you know what I mean? And actually genuinely say, and I can trust them.
Because that's the main thing.
I can trust them. Do you know what I mean? And I know it's safe. But it's not like it's not hundreds of friends. It's not people who do that. It's like maybe
circle of trust.
Maybe we'll find if that. Maybe you know what I mean.
Definitely. And it's a confidence thing as well with like me when I was like doing my artwork. I kind of like started putting my artwork out and stuff. I was getting messages off people like not very nice messages,
negative comments. Like, and it's brilliant.
As if trying to put me down, like. And I thought my confidence is gone now. And it was like that's what I feel like. Social media. It drags you down.
It does.
That's why I'm staying away from it for a bit, like
I've done it myself. Like I was very social media. I put everything was going on it for a long time. And lockdown came, and I stepped away from it now. I delete my apps. I go on once every few weeks, either to put something on about the walks, because we have a walk every month, or chuck a song on, or maybe put the odd thing on. But I was finding that, and this is my addict head as well, I was wanting to be liked.
Yeah, definitely.
So I was thinking, I got to put this on, right? I'm putting it on sometimes, and I'll be honest with you, I'm putting stuff on not the right reasons, because I wanted to feed my ego.
Yeah. How many likes did I get with that?
How many people like that? I don't like that. I'm like, what's going on here? Like, don't get me wrong, I love social media, and what it's done with the walk and talks and the mental health and making awareness has all come off that platform.
Yes.
So I can't not say it's. I can't slag it off.
It's how you spread the word.
But for me as an addict and everything like that, and I needed like self-appraisal. I need to feel loved. I need to feel like, let's put this on because I want so many likes. And then I thought to myself, hang on a second now, I'm living my life on this.
Yeah.
So I like I said, I've come off it for 70% of the time. I feel a lot better in myself.
Yeah.
I'm very much the same.
It drains you, and so much it drains you as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. I wake up in the morning, first thing you do, what do people do? Like, when I'm looking at Facebook and I'm looking at Insta, I don't anymore. Like, I don't.
It frightened me a few weeks back. I was with my missus and going down the road, and she said, look out there, that's the world today. And I was like, what do you mean? Turned my head, there was a bus stop with about 20 people standing there, right? Not one of them looking at each other or talking.
On the phones.
They were all looking down at their mobile.
Phone's an anxiety thing as well. Now, if you're in that situation, first thing you do, take your phone out and look this, because you don't want to make contact when eye contact, say hello. People don't say walk past and say hello anymore on the street, like, you know.
You see people walk, exactly you say, walking in the screen in front of them.
That image frightened me.
Yeah.
Because I thought, there's nobody there talking to each other.
Yeah.
So what's happening to our communities and our societies, isn't it?
But it's the same. It's not just with strangers; it's with friends as well. I've been in people's company, and I'm literally feel like I'm having a conversation with myself.
Yeah, because you're on the phone.
I'm asking, and I have to say the same thing 3 or 4 times, and in the end I have to say, can you actually listen?
Even when you start talking to them, and then they pull the phone out while you're talking to them, like, it's like, what are they doing? Like,
we get that our generation a bit now, because I think, you know, we're in our 40s, and we've grown up without mobile phones, and
that's true.
You know, but I'm working like with young people now, and they never know, they don't know any different, like.
Yeah.
And
that's true. Yeah.
So they're talking to me, and they, like you say, exactly you said, they're grabbing the phone, and I in my head I'm thinking of being rude, but they don't know any different, because that's what they do.
It's natural.
It's natural, man. They just like, you know what I mean?
They tweet, they text him while they're talking.
Text him while they're talking, you know.
As soon as the phone goes off, and it's
fine, straight away, like.
What would you think there should be more of in our communities these days, like, to make society, like, a mental health be more?
I think what are good. It is improving, without a doubt. And there's a lot of men's sheds in it. And I'm talking not just men, but you know, for me, I think it's a bigger stigma for men to talk, because women, they just quite openly talk about their feelings, don't they? So like, there's a lot of men's sheds. I think more of them, without a doubt. So places where men can go.
Groups definitely help. There could be some people out there who are just lonely as well, and they're on their own. They go into that, they meet friends there, and it's a different part of life for them.
What I found was, like, with my anxieties, when I was told, like, I have to phone people to get help.
Yeah, that's quite hard.
I had to pick up the phone, but to do that, to phone somebody when I'm feeling that low.
Yeah.
I think there's not an understanding out there that is a problem for some people.
I think that's a hell of a point, because, like, say I phone my doctors now, right? And it says, can you briefly explain what your symptoms are?
I know.
Well, if I'm depressed now and I want to speak to someone, I don't really want to speak to someone who isn't qualified. No disrespect. Because they're receptionists. I don't want to, like, by the way, you know, this and that and what have you.
I do say personal, I say, though. If it's something like that, I say personal. And they can't ask, they won't ask you anything else.
No, doctors. You're not allowed to say it's personal. I think there is a lack of still understanding, unfortunately.
Yes,
But I think children at a young age now in schools should be taught, and this is not the boys, to have understanding and talk about emotions, and that they need to speak
100%.
From that early age.
Yeah, especially now after the pandemic, when they were all stuck in for 2 years and they couldn't see friends and that.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
That's like, I think showing your emotion is the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
Hiding your emotion is the worst thing you can do.
That's it.
In the long run.
In the long run, you can do it for so long, you can do it for years.
Yeah. Something like that could change, like, mental health in the next 10, 20 years. See, those youngsters then grow up and it might be a less percentage of people struggling because they learned it at a young age.
Do you know what the biggest killer in Britain is, boys? Male suicide.
Under 40, it is the biggest killer.
Male suicide.
My best friend, is 33.
And I went there. That's what I was at. I went to the car park. Everything. I was ready to go, and I couldn't see no light.
No.
And it's sad to say that even though I had everybody around me that I needed, I loved all my family, friends. Just when you're in that darkest place, there is no other way, is it?
And I don't judge you for that at all, and that's the thing, because I get it, and I don't even think, to be honest with you, when I hear of someone who's committed suicide, because I've been in that place where I couldn't handle living anymore myself.
Yeah.
And it's so scary, and like I needed peace.
Yeah.
I needed peace.
Exactly
and I didn't have any peace. And I understand that. And people say, "Oh, it's a selfish thing." No, it's not a selfish thing to do. It's not. And this is my view. People might say to me, "Oh, no, it is selfish. What about this person? What about that person you're leaving behind?" But when you're that deep inside, you honestly can't handle anything. You just need peace, and you need
to get up to that.
Yeah. So I'm just glad you didn't, brother.
Thanks, man.
And I just truly, because
sitting here now, 6 months.
I'm glad I never did, and I'm just glad
I do look back
giving back now, see, helping people.
I look back and I do regret, hurting people's, emotions, my family and everything. That'll be on my mind forever. Bringing that to them, but you hit the nail on the head there, where you said you just want peace, and when you get to that dark place, that is
you just want peace. You can't live with it. Sometimes you think about it, and you've been there, and I just think it's just words can't describe it. No. You can't really say can't say to someone, "This is how it feels."
Yeah,
it felt to me like the world was falling apart around me.
Yeah,
as if another brick was going, and those bricks ahead weren't even there.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even step across there. And that's when, you think to yourself, how much more of the world falling apart can you take? And that's,
if you've known him before, the person he is, they'll get up on stage with a band, they laugh, joking, always smile, happy, nicest guy you'll ever meet. Like, for him to go from that to sort of switch, you know what I mean?
But I was very much the same, took on other people's problems.
Yeah. Just smiling through it, like
trying to be strong, trying to say, I'm all right, I'll get through it. Yeah. But then thinking to myself, hold on a minute, I don't know who I am anymore.
Yeah.
We find some people think depression and mental health is withdrawal. Like, personally, I did withdraw certain things. Sometimes it's like you say, you paint this face on sometimes. And you just go out, you're like, right, here we go, clown mask, here we go, and have a laugh and I joke. And then you go home and then you're like, it's actually tiring because you feel as if you live in a lie. Did you feel that sometimes?
All the time.
Feel as if, like, when I'm going, I'm going to see the boys, I've got to try and be...
Like you're living a double life sort of thing.
Yeah, you're
pretend to be a different person.
Got to be one of the boys.
One of the boys, I'm having a laugh of a joke and all that. But actually, you're just dead, like. Yeah. And it's like, and you go home sometimes, get home sometimes from going out, like that. I used to be like, drained, or going to work. I still would be going to work.
If we're playing a part, like,
and I'm like, I've gone out and I've had to now today personal train people when I'm dying inside.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Or I'm going to work and doing this, I'm dying inside, and I get home, and then that's where I would crash and see. Yeah, I think that's brilliant analogy. You said, like, playing a part. Two, like you said, two lives. Like, leading like a double life.
Like a double life.
So a double life to show the face of, like, I am all right.
Yeah.
But you're not.
Really
Yeah.
It's kind of faking it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Faking the life that you really, to me, I'll be honest with you, all I want this someone was to come up to me and give me a hug.
I know.
That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
It's right, though. You just, as I said, it's all you need sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
That's why you crave him, like.
But Paul, this has been great.
Absolutely
for us.
Amazing, to be honest.
I hope this can give hope to other people that, like, there is help out there, like, through your walks and stuff as well.
Yeah. If you want to give any dates or anything coming up, mate.
We have got a walk coming up because of my shift, so I'm working and all that. It's not one given date, so.
Or tell people where to look.
Yeah, if you go Walk and Talk and you Google that on Facebook or put in a search, I think it's Walk and Talk for Men is the page.
Yeah.
So you can give our little like and follow.
We'll have the links on to the podcast.
We share things on Facebook.
Or my page, I put a lot on my page, so just find Paul Rees, it's probably 100. So probably go Walk and Talk Way first. And, and I just want to thank you, mate, as well. For that.
It's a pleasure.
We have one little question at the end as well.
No, thanks,
appreciate it.
What uplifting songs do you like to listen to when feeling down? Which one would you like to add to our playlist?
I do like I'm Not Afraid, and that gives me a little boost. I put that in the morning. It's what's his name? Slim Shady, Eminem, Marshall. He's got 4 names, isn't he?
Yeah.
So many.
Some others.
So I'm Not Afraid. Oh, and I do a little bit Live Forever as well.
Brilliant.
Live Forever by Oasis.
So
classic. I don't really listen to Slim Shady, what's his name, that much, but that is one album called Recovery, because he's sober and clean now, and I sort of stuff.
He's relating to it.
Relating to the words and stuff, so yeah.
Oh, we put that on the playlist because we're hoping to get them all together now at the end of the
that'll be good though.
Podcast we'll all be blasting it out in the sun.
That'll be good though. It'll be good to listen to.
It's been amazing, lads. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for the time.
God bless you, lads.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
Awesome stuff. Thank you.
That was the Never Alone Together podcast. Please like and share this episode and check out those social media links below in the description. Thank you for listening. See you next time.